Hello! Whether you're watching us online or tuning in through Spotify or Amazon Music, we're happy to have you here at XRaised, where knowledge meets inspiration in the intricate dance of industry evolution. Now, today's guest is no stranger to breaking barriers, setting standards, and redefining the very core of legal practice. She's a powerhouse in her robe, and not just the courtroom kind, a barrister with a fearless advocacy style, a trailblazing legal innovator, and a leader who's turned years of courtroom grit into tech powered brilliance. She's the 2021 Lawyers Weekly Female Barrister of the Year. She is in the top 100 women in construction, a peer reviewed author, a Harvard trained strategist, and oh, yes, the founder and CEO of MiAI Law, a company transforming legal research using AI. She's joining us today to discuss the rise of AI first law firms and what really the future practice looks like. So let me warmly welcome back the legal tech company leader, none other than Laina Chen. Beautiful Laina, how are you? Good
Hi,
morning.
Miles. Hi, Miles. Always so good to hear my introduction.
I'm
It's
always
such an
excited for
ego
that.
boost. Thank you.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Today, we're digging into something that sounds almost futuristic, the rise of AI first law firms. But as we know from my AI law's work, that future is now. So let's get into my first question. What defines an AI first law firm in today's legal landscape? I mean, let's start by setting the scene. When we say AI first, it's more than just, automating tasks. It's about foundational mindset shift. So, what sets apart an AI first law firm from one simply using AI? Is it a difference in tools, structure, or maybe philosophy?
I think we have to wind it back one step first. It's the clients that are pushing the law firms to adopt AI because the clients can see the potential increases in efficiency, etc., and productivity. And obviously, the clients want the benefit of that. So many clients, like government clients, for example, and other commercial clients, are pushing their law firms to actually adopt AI in their legal workflow. So then the law firms really have no choice but to react to that and give the clients what they want. So I think that's the foundational point. And the governments, for example, are saying, we want you to show that you're adopting AI in your legal workflow. So what I've been seeing from all the research that we've been doing is that what has been being automated is the process workflow, trying to reduce the grind of very boring stuff. Boring to me, not research, but the stuff, the repetitive work that the admin work
Yeah, I get it.
being done. And there's a lot of legal tech companies out there that are seeking to automate those processes, but that's not what I'm interested in. What I'm interested in is legal research. And because obviously that builds upon my expertise and my background.
Mhm.
I know I've mentioned it in previous episodes before, but we haven't found a company, a legal tech company in the Commonwealth world at least, that has delivered what we're about to deliver. And I'm very excited to announce that we are launching our product at Legal Tech Talk in London on the
London.
26th and 27th of June. So our product will be going live then, and my developers and my delivery team believe that our product will be ready to launch by then. Either they reckon before, but never know with development. It's either around before then or very shortly thereafter, our product will be ready, but we'll definitely be in beta testing mode by then.
Exciting stuff. So it's not just a matter of plugging in a bot and calling it innovation, Lena. It's more like re-engineering the DNA of how a law firm thinks, works, and maybe even builds. And smaller firms often don't have these resources of big law firms, but the pressure to deliver top-tier outcomes is just as real. What practical steps can smaller or regional practices take to start integrating AI while still maintaining the nuisance, ethics, and client trust their reputation relies on?
Well, the smaller law firms, you have to really sit down and think about it. It takes a lot of time to work out which parts of your practice can be automated. I'm not just talking about legal research, but
Okay.
all along the process. You have to think about what what is it you're doing and whether there is an AI tool that will be able to help you to automate that process.
Mhm.
And so you have to sit down, maybe with a consultant or maybe with your in-house team. Unfortunately, if you're a sole practitioner, you're going to have to do this yourself. You're going to have to work out which parts of your workflow can be automated, because at the moment, there's such a push. Everyone is saying, oh, I've got an agent, which is an AI agent that can help you automate your process. But there's so
Yeah.
many, hundreds of them out there. How do you know whether one agent is any better than others? Because don't forget, if you get the right agent to help you, supposedly it's going to increase your productivity by 40%,
Yeah.
potentially. That's what they taught me at Harvard.
Ideally.
But if you pick the wrong one, it's going to set you backwards by up to maybe 20%. So it's
Mhm.
really important that you're very careful in which parts of your workflow you want to automate, and then finding the best product fit to actually help you increase your productivity and efficiency.
Uh-huh. I like how you pointed it out. It's reassuring to hear that innovation isn't a luxury item. It's like a very ethical intern with a perfect memory. As you said, it has to make
Well,
your
there's no perfect
processes.
memory at the moment. Sorry.
Yeah.
Perfect memory is the holy grail that
Yeah.
everyone is working towards. Okay, there's no perfect memory at the moment. If anyone
Okay.
has used OpenAI, ChatGPT, you will see that sometimes if you're asking your chatbot a very complicated question and your interaction is going
Mm-hmm.
on for a long time within the same chat, that sometimes by the end it's forgotten what you've told it in the beginning. And this is
Mm-hmm.
even within the same chat. So there
Yes.
is no perfect memory at the moment. That is the holy grail. That is what
Yes.
everyone
That's
is
a
working
goal.
towards. Yes, well, it's more
Yes.
than gold, right? I mean, it's like stardust.
Everyone
So
wanted that. Or
yes, everyone
wanting
wants
it.
that. And Google has put out some research on their Titan project where they've released their research on how on memory, but
Mm-hmm.
nobody has been able to change that into perfect memory. Obviously, that is our ultimate aim, that
Mm-hmm.
when well, that is our ultimate legal research, so that you can, any interaction that you have with our bot, which is called Jewel, that Jewel will always remember what you're doing. But
Yes.
even without that, in our product, you'll be able to upload all your documents, all your own IP, and even if
Mm-hmm.
my bot cannot remember in the short term exactly what you've done, it's all in the documentation so that you can then interrogate your own IP using AI.
Right. And since you mentioned about jewels, what are the key operational changes when AI becomes, embedded in legal workflows?
Well, it's very sad, but I think you'll always need lawyers. You'll always totally need lawyers. But then people lower down the hierarchy, and the people doing the process work, I just think inevitably they'll be replaced
Hmm.
by, maybe not completely, but they will be replaced by
Gradually.
AI, because you cannot trust AI completely. You have to check the work. There
Hmm.
has to be a human in the loop, so that even if you're getting the chatbot to do the work for you, there has to be a process of checking that the output is actually accurate and trustworthy. So you cannot just say, chatbot, off you go, everything is correct. There has to
Hmm.
be a human in the loop at the moment, because the accuracy and the precision is not there yet. You cannot just say, humans are completely replaced. But
Yeah.
what it does mean is that the humans will be able to produce much more output than without the help of the AI agents.
Hmm. Right. So the rise of AI first isn't about removing the human touch. It's about
No.
refining how and where it's applied.
Yes, refining how and where it's applied to help humans
Yes.
become better versions of themselves.
Hmm. And AI, again, shouldn't replace lawyers. It should empower them. So how do you recommend
How
firms?
can AI replace lawyers when, it's the law? Well, it can't replace lawyers, because it can only help lawyers
Yes.
become more productive, more efficient, increase our knowledge base, make us become better versions of ourselves.
Hmm.
It may replace. Everyone just has to upskill. It's like the industrial age, right? When
Hmm.
in the past you had there were all these people doing menial work,
Mhm.
chimney cleaning, whatever they were doing,
Manual.
process work in the factories, whatever. And
Mhm.
now all those have become
Machines.
machines.
Uh-huh.
So those humans have had to
Yeah, upskill. Right.
reskill and upskill.
Uh-huh. So how do
So
you recommend firms approach training since you mentioned about reskilling or reskilling their teams? What kind of mindset shifts are needed to get lawyers comfortable working with AI, not against AI?
I can only talk in the context of legal research. So legal research, our model works optimally when we have a lawyer who knows what they're actually looking for. You can't get just a non-legal person off the road, who just has this problem and then just comes in and asks the bot, what can I do? Right? It's
Mhm.
not like that. You can ask the bot, but if you don't direct the bot and you don't direct the model into what kind of outcome that you are looking for, you're not going to get as much out of the model as if you were a lawyer who has specialized experience and
Mhm.
you sort of know where you want to direct the client to get the client the outcome that they want or need. But you have to direct the traffic. You have to direct and produce the outcome that you're looking for. And you can only do that if you have legal experience.
Mhm.
And then once you have that, you have that legal experience, what I do is when I am interacting with the bot, I just talk to the bot like the bot is one of my employees, that
Mhm.
someone I have charged with to carry out the research or to do the work, and I'm supervising their work. So their work comes back, and then I'm having questions and conversations with them as to, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? What about this? What about that? And so when you're interacting with Jewel, for example, and you'll ask Jewel a research question, and Joe will come back and seek clarification. And then you will provide the clarification in a conversational way. It's going back and forth and back and forth. Then
Mhm.
Jewel will go off and it will do the research. It will return the research to you. And then you have to interact with the bot and say, what about this? What about that? Have you
Yeah.
thought about this? Have you thought
Mhm.
about that? Etc. Right?
Yeah.
It's not just sending off a query into the universe and then hoping everything comes back and it'll be perfect, because it
Uh-huh.
can't. It needs your experience to direct and produce the outcome that you're looking for.
Mhm. Well, there it is. AI literate, not AI dependent, which
Yes,
sounds like the perfect evolution. Lawyers becoming more strategic, less burnout, and AI doing the basic legal stuff.
yes,
But still, of course, as you said, being prompt the right way by practitioners themselves. Everybody wins,
yes.
except maybe traditional billable hour models.
Well, that's the thing. I've been thinking about that, right? So in the same time that you might have charged a client 4 hours to do a particular task, it
Okay.
might take you half that time, because you ask the bot to do the work,
Mhm.
and then you're interacting and you get this output back, and then it helps you then strategize and do whatever it is you need to
Polish
do,
everything.
polish everything. But you need to check the output, and I think the quality of what you're delivering to the client is way better than what you have had,
Yeah.
what you could have produced without the help of my research model.
Right.
Absolutely, because your knowledge is infinite now, and it's only restrained by what questions you're putting to the bot.
Yeah. The prompt. It's
Well, I call it my bot, right? It's
yeah.
my jewel, whatever
I
you're
do.
calling, whatever you're asking. But
Yeah.
all that output comes back to you, and you have to craft it and frame it in the way you want it framed. And of course, and
Mhm.
then all that is delivered to the client in a package. And so I think what has happened is you'll be delivering a triple A grade product
Mhm.
in maybe half the time,
Yeah.
but
More
it will
clean.
be far better quality, and you'll be able to do it much faster.
Mhm.
So does that mean the billable hours should come down? The billable hours will come down. Does
Mhm.
that mean that the charge for that work should come down? I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
that maybe it should be reflected by maybe putting up your hourly rate. to
Mm-hmm.
reflect the fact that what you're giving the client
Better
is
quality.
better quality and in half the time. So the
Mm-hmm.
rate has to go up. But the
Yeah.
use of these AI tools are very, very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So expensive that I just don't think a normal person would have any idea. If I was, for example, if I was using OpenAI to answer one of my research reports, because our initial model is allowing the client to get up to 10 research reports a month, plus 10 needle in the haystack searches. So if the client says, I want a case on this particular point,
Mm-hmm.
you get these 20 questions, research reports that you can generate. And each research report can take up to 2 million tokens. 2
Okay.
million tokens is, if I was using OpenAI, is at a cost to my business of 150 US dollars per report. And that's just the cost of the tokens. Then I have the cost of all the AI service. I have the cost of all the other service. And the cost that NVIDIA is charging, if I want 10 concurrent users being given 10 answers at the same time, 10 concurrent users, the cost to me is 6,000 US dollars per month just to have my model being able to produce 10
And
simultaneous reports.
reports. Mm-hmm.
And don't forget the cost of all the other service that I have to pay for and my team and everybody. So this is really expensive. But if you are comparing it to the cost of a human being producing that same research report, it's significantly less, right?
Yeah.
The cost of the research report may be, at base cost to me, maybe, I don't know, $250 US per report, but you're
Mm-hmm.
saving
I
eight
know.
hours or 10 hours worth of
Mm-hmm.
labor or more. That's being conservative. So it's just, so you have to, the law firm has to take all these costs into consideration when they're
Mm-hmm.
thinking about how do we bill the client? Do
Yeah.
we do we bill the client by increasing the hourly rate to take into account the cost of the AI? The cost of the AI
Yeah.
is expensive. Or do we have a separate charge for the AI cost? I think some firms actually do that. I saw somewhere that one
Mm-hmm.
firm now includes as a line item the AI cost.
Uh-huh. So since we're touching on the billable hours, Lena, do you think we could see more outcome-based or fixed fee structures becoming the norm?
Yes, I mean, you could do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think clients prefer fixed fee costs because at least they know what they're in for. But then
Yeah.
some law firms don't like to do that. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe, you charge your AI the way you would charge a paralegal,
Oh, yeah, I
right?
see.
You have
Well,
a line item. You could have a line item for the AI cost.
mm-hmm. Well,
For
that could
every
be.
report that's generated, you can put a cost next to it, or you can work out in total what the cost of delivering that work is to you and then calculate the fixed costs for the client. Both are possible. It just depends on whether a firm is willing to change their billing model.
Yeah, but that could be the plot twist clients have been waiting for. Value-based billing that actually reflects value, which, as you said earlier, better quality, but you're becoming more efficient. So AI might
Yes.
not just change how law is practiced, it also might finally slay the sacred cow of the billable hour. And well, I think we've covered a lot today. If there's one big takeaway here, Lena, it's that innovation doesn't cancel out integrity. It can actually amplify it, and lawyers become more efficient and can bill maybe better because of the quality they deliver. And perhaps it's not about choosing between tech and people, it's about choosing the right partnership between the two.
Yes. And like yesterday, I was having a cup of tea with a barrister who's volunteered to beta test my product. And he said he
Okay.
can't wait. I mean, he said, this is just a real game changer. When I pull this off in
Let's
June
see.
and be the first mover and deliver this product for lawyers,
I'm
that
sure a lot of your I mean a lot of lawyers that you know have been waiting for this. I mean, you have a
yes,
lineup. I remember you mentioned that to me that there are a couple of friends who would like to really try it and excited to try it out. And Me too. Even if I'm not going to use it, I mean, professionally, I'm really excited for you and my AI.
Yeah, but in the beginning, we're only taking 50 beta users because I need to work out the collision rates of people, even at 50 people, how many people are expecting answers at the same time. I need to get an
Hmm,
idea of how people are using the model, etc.
good
And then,
strategy.
and then maybe the first couple of weeks it will only be 50, and then we might have to take the people on in 50, lots of 50 before
50.
while we get a better idea of how the demand, I just don't want we just have to work out how many servers we need to pay for, etc. Because I don't want people disappointed that they have to
Before
wait
you
too
scale
long for
up the
their
users.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, so thank you once again, Lena, for bringing not just your brilliance, but also your clarity and candidness to our community. It's a pleasure to have you as always.
Thank you, Miles.
Thank
Until
you.
next time.
Yes, of course. For those of you tuning in, whether you're a firm considering the leap into AI or maybe a legal aid lawyer wondering how this tech could actually empower your work, check out My AI Law or connect directly with Lena on LinkedIn. And thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe send this episode to that one friend still printing out case law for fun. So that's it for now. We'll definitely see you again next time. This has been your host, Miles. Stay focused and inspired with XRaised.